One of the things that I've been thinking about for a long time, and I think you think about it a similar way, but basically, like you only have a certain number of maximal touches on like intensity within like a given time frame. Which I mean, obviously, it's an intuitive thing, but it's probably the first I've heard it super concretely, maybe from him.
Hmm.
How often is too often for people actually going like into the, let's call it like the red zone, for example?
For us, I try to throw that in like once a week, maybe twice a week. It's not as often as I think people think, or even some of our athletes. They see like, oh, this is an intense piece. I should hit it pretty hard.
Hmm.
Um, but I'd say like once or twice a week. And the reason I say it depends is because, for a more mature athlete, like with a higher training age who's been doing this for a while,
Hmm.
um, I would actually say I would say that's even less, just because they have the ability to go there and push that. Um, Whereas someone who is just starting out, they could probably get away with it more frequently. We don't, but just because they don't have, the I don't know what you would call it, the mentality, or the ability to just go to that place, uh, from what I've seen. Um,
Yeah.
and for the person with the higher training age, like I think it just wears them down a little bit more,
Yeah.
from what I've seen. I think it's also the same way with like lifting. Like I think someone with a younger training age could hit close to their one rep max more frequently, just because they don't have the nervous system stimulation yet to like hit. Whereas someone with a higher age, like, oh, it might wear them down a little more. It's taking a little more out of them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the higher someone's 1RM is, it's like, well, you have to do more warm ups. That's just like if you're squatting 800
Yeah,
pounds, like you're some elite power lifter, like the amount of toll you have in like nervous system strain just from getting up to like your 70% is like so much more versus like someone who can do a set with like the bar and put on 135 and they're at 70% already. Like
yeah,
it's just like
yeah,
the strain on that athlete. Plus, like if someone is like, for example, even if it's like an assault bike sprint or something, like that athlete can tap themselves out so much quicker because they can just produce so much more power,
yeah,
which is, I think it's
yeah.
like not intuitive to a lot of athletes initially, but yeah, it's certainly the case.
Yeah, we hit like if we hit 30-second sprints on a bike, and we have someone who's just starting out and they're like a 55-year-old 120-pound female, they're like 30 seconds, that was nothing.
Yeah.
Or you got this 26-year-old 6'2", 230 guy, and he's like laid out.
Yeah.
So I think it just depends on who the athlete is.
Yeah. And probably also whether they're competitive or not. Cause like if you are not
Oh,
competitive, like
definitely.
you have almost zero reason to put yourself through that on a, yeah, frequent basis at
It's
least.
like, what's the point? What's the point? If we're
Yeah.
doing this just to be, healthy and live long and look good, it's almost, do we need to do that every day? Absolutely not.